The future of the Star Wars franchise is looking brighter and brighter day by day as both George Lucas, Jon Favreau, and Dave Filoni are all working together as a team to deliver as much authentic Star Wars material as they can on Disney Plus and for new Star Wars movies and more that's really going to take shape for this new expanded universe. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the thing about Disney Star Wars is that we do know that they are now in a position where they really need to meet a high success rate to really get things going again when it comes to the franchise. You know, granted, I know a lot of people personally that walked away from Star Wars and said that they are never coming back. And only a small percentage of those people are even considering of coming back on one condition: if Star Wars actually stays with the vision of George Lucas and can kind of grasp that overall feeling or tone that The Mandalorian was able to provide. That true feeling of Star Wars, the way it was, right? I really can't explain it. There's something about it that you just cannot explain, but The Mandalorian just feels a whole lot like Star Wars A New Hope as far as tone goes. They want to essentially, Bob Chapek, really recapture that experience. Now, here's the thing about the future of Star Wars, is that that's exactly what they're trying to execute on the big screen when it comes to future Star Wars movies. They want to explore darker routes like Revenge of the Sith. They want to explore more lighthearted routes like how we saw in parts of Star Wars A New Hope here and there. And they also really want to just give us that overall feeling of the franchise that, well, I feel obviously that the sequel trilogy kind of really departed away from that. Now, on top of all of this, what's really intriguing, of course, is that with both Disney and Lucasfilm now actively developing new TV shows and movies, they are now looking ahead to what Jon Favreau, George Lucas, and Dave Filoni will be able to create for the Star Wars fandom around the world. Now, it's explained that recently Disney CEO Bob Chapek created a major facelift over at Lucasfilm, as he is promoting new creators and hiring others as well. However, during and after the premiere of The Rise of Skywalker, many interviews were given to the creators and actors of the sequel trilogy, to where actress Daisy Ridley was questioned about Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy. Now, it's described that when questioned about Kennedy's leadership, Daisy went on to say that it was an exhausting process to have had dozens of hours of hard work of training for the scenes that were deleted, and that she had done tons of rehearsals with Adam Driver and Ian McDiarmid for a spectacular scene that was deleted because of Kathleen Kennedy. Daisy went on to reveal that Kennedy was the one who called the shots to keep the reason as to how Palpatine came back to life a major secret, since, of course, they really did not know what they were doing at the time with Palpatine, and since production was in a rush, they had no experience or no idea of how to handle Palpatine, or even experimented, and they even experimented with scenes of Palpatine revealing to Kylo, specifically of how he survived, and Kennedy saw this as a scene as too cartoonish or too corny, if you will, for the audience to witness, and decided to delete such a sequence. Daisy expresses that she would have actually loved to have seen that moment, and that over 10 different endings were actually considered for the film that were swapped out constantly by Kathleen Kennedy, causing great confusion for the cast and the crew. So here's the actual thing about The Rise of Skywalker, is that when we look at this movie, looking back at it, I haven't watched this movie in the longest time because I only saw it twice in theaters, and a friend of mine has it on Blu-ray. I've watched it a couple times on there. Just kind of examine exactly what's really disjointed and what's not. And you could really see in the beginning of this movie, right, is that when you look at this movie in the very beginning, it's very rushed. It's got a lot of problems going on with it. It just seems like that the Mustafar scene was completely chopped up. An entire sequence was originally supposed to be in that moment that was cut out by Kathleen Kennedy. Now, as of course Daisy expresses here, how a lot of hard work went into the actors and the actresses for specific moments in the film. A lot of training was required. A lot of rehearsals were required, only for those scenes to be deleted. And not just that, how 10 different scenes, 10 different endings, if you will, were actually experimented and swapped around constantly. That just sounds like that Kathleen Kennedy has no idea what she was doing, or had no idea what she was doing with this actual movie, and was just going with the flow and just making it up as along, to see exactly what fits and what doesn't. And obviously, that doesn't really seem to work in the long run. All these different changes went all the way until October, in case you guys did not know, in post-production. In post-production, they were swapping out scenes, putting other ones in, testing this and testing that. It's the main reason as to why we didn't get a final trailer, literally until October of 2019, because they were really trying to figure out exactly what was going on with this movie. Just think about that for a second. We didn't get a full actual trailer of the movie until October of 2019. Now, we got a teaser at Celebration, and we got the D23 first look in August of 2019, but we didn't get an actual trailer until October, and that's the main reason as to why. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.